And good morning. Everybody ready for a Monday? Wow, we got to get into things, don't we? We got a rain last night, a very serious one. We did have no thunderstorm warnings issued, but boy, there for a while, it really rocked Kemper County. And if you live in that lower southern part of Kemper County through Damascus, those areas, you know what I'm talking about. Entered Lauderdale County, a lot of rain came with this, and we did get a call. This was reported last night that a home was struck in the Collinsville area. I think in the end everything is okay, but it was struck by lightning. Ooh, that's bad news. Lightning is very dangerous. Now, we've got more in the same of this coming today. This afternoon between 1 and 5, y'all be prepared for a little bit of rain and thunder as this makes its way most likely after 1 o'clock. I do want to show this before we get really going and get into some news that happened over the weekend. Let me pull this up. Let's go to Meridian Honda radar. And again, there was absolutely nothing issued from the National Weather Service on this. As you'll see this little thingy bob right here. Let's zoom in on this. This is near Jackson, Mississippi. As we pull this up to find out exactly what it was, this was basically a tornado, and there was not a warning issued with this. It was a rotating wall cloud that was seen in the vicinity of the Greenfield Station neighborhood. Several residents and security camera footages caught this to confirm a brief tornado occurred with vegetation and tight debris being lifted into the air. So, again, this is Whitfield, right up over in Rankin County. If you've ever been in that neighborhood yesterday afternoon, as you zoom in on this, here's I-20. It would be just south of there. Here's Highway 18. We get a little bit closer in this to where you can see Greenfield Road here, right in that area there, due north of Mississippi 468. Sometimes radar systems aren't as good as we think they are they? But again, that was never reported as a tornado. No warning issued with that. As I watched this, we did have a thunderstorm warning or two listed in the Mississippi Delta yesterday afternoon. But some violent, heavy rain. And I have just a side note of people that are working for you behind the scenes that you don't know about. Lauderdale County Emergency is working really hard to upgrade radar systems throughout the county. We hope that state lawmakers will jump in and help them, because they do care about this community and our surrounding counties, that this would help. So we'll watch this and see what becomes of that. I'll keep you updated on that. How are you today? I hope good. I hope you got a smile. It's going to take it for all of us to make it through another week, isn't it? Believe this or not, this is June the 27th. We're coming up on July 4th. Halfway through the year. Can y'all believe that? We'll be making our big switch. Don't forget, the morning of July 4th, you will no longer find us on MeTV. We'll be switching over to Fox 30. I hope you'll join us. We've got... We're working on a show to get some folks to come in and sing the national anthem. You got to do that on July 4th, don't you? That's on the way. I hope you'll join us for that. A lot of good things, and then we'll get into some stuff that went on last night that I have to say the Meridian Police Department stepped up on, took care of something. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We have to give that a boy where it's due. Now, the first thing that I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you went out on Saturday, but it was horrendously hot. We tied the all-time record of 104 degrees on Saturday. I tootled on down to Meridian Honda. There was a benefit going on, and maybe you went by. I hope you got a chance to. It was great. We tried to do, and I've never had that happen there. It's so hot that cameras and things wouldn't work. But as we look at this, let me pull this up where we can get some pictures and zoom in on this. A benefit was held for David Shelton. And as we get the numbers right after the show, let's show some of these cars that were there. Just gorgeous cars that were all throughout this. Antique cars, Camaros, you name it, it was there that afternoon. But nearly $10,000 was raised to help David Shelton and his family. Beautiful Firebird there. Just look at this. Look at the Mustangs. They were all over the place. Just gorgeous cars as you go through the parking lot to take a look at what all was there. And I didn't get pictures of everyone. But again, so great. Well, look at that. Fastback. just absolutely gorgeous as the day went on of the different cars and people that came out, bought raffle tickets. But again, nearly $10,000 was raised, and we have to say a big thank you. Couldn't have done it without the community being there taking care of everything. So a fantastic job. Thank you all for coming out and doing it. It will be greatly appreciated to David's family as they go through this very, very rough time. As we all know, he had cancer, if you're wondering what am I talking about. But David was diagnosed with cancer, and expenses are high. We all know that. So thank you to everyone who helped out with that. Also, I went up the road to Meridian as they celebrated the very first anniversary of the Lauderdale County Animal Shelter. That was nice as we went up. Rocky and the gang do such a fine job there. As we pulled this up for you to take a look there, this was going on, again, Saturday afternoon up at the new shelter there. Fun and games, a lot of people there. And one of the largest, as we got inside, tours I have ever seen. It was a lot of folks lined up to take a look at what it is. And my memories of a dog pound was a little boy. I hadn't been in many, but I remember the original dog pound that Meridian went into had years ago when I was 7 or 8 years old. It was rough. This place is absolutely spick and span. Doesn't matter when you go there, Rocky and his team take care of it. Very proud of the work they do, and you can't commend them enough. If you'd like to help out with anything, make a donation, adopt a pet, they'd love to see you. So many pets need adopted and taken care of. Overnight, as I mentioned this, we have to give a boy to the Meridian Police Department for doing a fantastic job. Let me show you this picture here. And this is just a street view where you'll know where I'm talking about. Police were called to the scene of Johnson Kia last night. Someone was breaking into a car. Well, as police arrived, this got a little bit, I would call it, in my opinion, an upgrade from what they originally thought they were going into. Somebody wiggling a handle trying to get into a car. After they arrived on scene, they discovered that a person had taken a pistol, shot out a window of a car to gain access to it. After they shot the window out, the bullet went through the car and struck the gas station next door. Now, that's bad enough, isn't it? As police arrived on scene, I think he'd broken into about 3 cars when they got there. And to top that off, this is where it gets, I guess, what you would call just downright bad when you would do something like this. I don't know the exact wording for it. But upon his arrest, there was a small child that was with him in a car. Quite possibly, I don't know, that it may have been his daughter. That's bad. That's bad when you go do criminal activity and take along a child. Meridian Police Department responded, and they were arrested and taken away. Is all I can say to something like that. I'm not even sure that this was somebody that was from our town. Could have been somebody just passing through. That's what happened overnight. And again, a big thank you to Meridian Police Department for doing their job and catching someone doing stuff they had no business doing. As we go to Marion over the weekend, and again, I talked about this on Saturday morning, but things like this do happen. We had a gas spill there in the big city of Marion there, as you'll see the folks cleaning it up. Somewhere between 40 to 50 gallons of diesel was spilled, and it went everywhere. So they had to shut down and clean up everything. Fine job. Got that taken care of. Things like that can turn into something more quickly and worse. Snap of a hat, but all taken care of. Snap of a finger, maybe. Said that wrong, didn't I? It is Monday. I hadn't had enough coffee just yet. Well, as we get this, Mississippi now has a new Miss Mississippi. As Miss Holly Brand turned over her crown on Saturday night, we go to Hattiesburg for our new Miss Mississippi. Have you seen the pictures of her yet? Just a gorgeous young lady. Here she is there. Emma Perkins of Hattiesburg was crowned in Vicksburg over the weekend. So we say congratulations to her. Hope she represents the state of Mississippi fine while she's out doing this. That's fantastic. Probably a big dream of every little girl that has ever walked through to be Miss Mississippi. Big deal. Hank Jr. sang about that years ago. Now, I'm not one of these to go over to something like this, but maybe you like these things. Comic-Con. To the rest of us who don't attend these things, you go, what? Comic books and things of that nature. It's really a big deal. I didn't know it was so big. But Jackson, Mississippi A lot of folks come to this. They bring in celebrities for people to come and a few pictures of the crowd as it was around. It's a little bit of everything when it comes to this, from RD, what was his name? RDD2, something like that. I'm close. I may not have the name exactly, but it was a taste of everything. If you like comics, they had it there for you. Always a celebrity or two there. Now, I'm not going to lie. Do I know all these people? Absolutely not, and the characters that they do. But it's a big deal, nonetheless, whether I know who they are or not, for the state of Mississippi to have that every year. And where would we be this morning without, this is big for Mississippi, R2D2. I was almost close. Thank y'all. I got some numbers mixed up there. R2D2. Never watched that movie, and I know it was big and I ought to be ashamed. But for the second time, Mississippi has brought home trophies. Ole Miss went out and they brought home, they are national champions as we look at this. Look at this. This was a big deal here for the state of Mississippi. And, of course, I know you've seen all that. We put this up.
1-2 pitch. Struck him out. From last forehead to last team standing.
They're happy, and we all should be. State of Mississippi, another title. That is absolutely wonderful. So glad that happened to us. As we start to look around at things in the state of Mississippi, I was 25 years younger. You were too when this all happened as we back up and we look at the clock around Mississippi. Do y'all remember Mississippi was the first one? It was a landmark case. Mississippi Today explores this, and they go deeper into it if you want to read more about it. But Mississippi settled a lawsuit with the tobacco companies. Y'all remember that? We got, was it $4 billion? It was supposed to reach $4 billion with the interest in years to come. Let's see. As we dig deeper into this, how much that money's left? I don't think any. But we were told in 1999, somewhere along in there, when the actual money went into the account, that after a few years with interest, well, we'd be sitting pretty. We'd earn about $450 billion. There'd be a lot of money involved with it. I may have that figure wrong. But let's look at this as we go in, not billion, but a couple, I think it would reach $1 billion, I think is what they originally said. When Haley Barbour took office, as we dig deeper in this is the exact number on that thing when we settle this case. When Haley Barbour took office, we had $630 million in the fund. It was supposed to not be touched by lawmakers. Well, what do y'all think happened? Well, they dug into it, and when Haley Barbour left office, you know how much was left? $50 million. I'm not sure anything's left now. That would be almost, well, it's gone. I think it started out, well, Medicare needed a little patch, this needed a patch, and they just kept dipping. It would have paid for a lot of things just off the interest had it not been touched. The original numbers I'm a little bit off of, but those are the hardcore facts of when Haley went into office. It was $630 million in the account, and when he left, there was $50 million, and then it just dwindled from there. Yeah, that's the reading of it. Had it not been touched, it would have $4 billion now and would have earned a lot of interest each month. But our lawmakers just couldn't stand it. There it was. Use it for something else. Yeah, I think it's all gone now. We looked at Jackson, Mississippi this morning. A man is accused of attacking a woman with a hammer. I'm telling you, bad folks do what they have to get away with whatever it is. Any kind of weapon, they do what they have to. An Amory man has passed away. A car wreck happened on the 17th over the weekend. He died. He succumbed to his injuries from a car wreck that happened. We hate to hear that as we pass along that. Here's something. Police, Klein, this is going to be South Mississippi as we look at things going on around the state of Mississippi. They pulled over a guy. Ended up he was driving a stolen car. The more they got to digging into what he had on him, he had a lot of identifications. He's going to prison for 30 months now. What did he do? Well, he talked his elderly neighbors, several neighbors, into giving them their information to help them apply for COVID relief during that time. Turns out he received more than $7,000, swindled the government and his neighbors by using their information to get money. Had it sent to his house and used his neighbor's information to get this. $7,000. They're getting him for wire fraud, all kinds of things. Trevon Evans, 25, from the Klein area, will go to jail for 30 months for doing that. It's just heartbreaking to think that people can do that. Never blink an eye. Use somebody. Do they not think it's going to come back? The White House, once again, over the weekend, and I'm sure you've heard of this, of how Joe will get to rambling in speeches where it sounded as though, yet again, he wanted to pack the courts. We know how that is. They're not happy how the Supreme Court has passed a few judgments. Of course, he'd like to add some people, but after he said that, the White House has to come back and go, in no way are we saying that Joe wants to pack the court. Although he did say that. I'm not sure how many people that watch me are TikTok users. Could be a lot. I've never used TikTok. I know exactly what it is. I've just never figured out how my news and things would and weather would fit on TikTok. It doesn't. I don't know. But a lady from Alabama, she's pretty big. She's got 7 million followers. Her son was killed. She's asking her followers to help solve the crime. He was murdered the day before his 19th birthday. And I'm going to say her first name wrong. Apelia Nichols, I believe is that. She's been crying. She's asking for help on this. Awful thing to have happened. But she is asking followers to help. 7 million people, that's big. Somebody from Alabama. I'm not sure who's bigger. The cooking lady has a lot of followers. The little grandma from over there, and I can't think of her name. We have somebody that was killed in the Air Force that was on duty in Alaska, a female Air Force cadet. She was killed when the Humvee she was driving flipped over. Condolences to her family as we look at headlines from across America this morning. This could get touchy as we all watch, as we all know what happened on Friday as the Supreme Court made their decision on Roe versus Wade. Again, those who are watching, what Roe versus Wade does is give states rights to decide whether abortion is legal or not. It's estimated that 26 states in the end will make it illegal, which leaves more to do what they want. And we know that there will be. Google tells their employees that they can relocate to states where abortion is legal. Texas is looking into promising that any company that funds out-of-state abortions will pay dearly in their state. If their main office is there and they're helping, we'll see how that goes. Texas taking a stand as the lawmakers promise that. We'll see what becomes of that. Also, as we look at this, I think each of us agree that because we live in Andalusia, Alabama is where she lives. You're right. As we look at these cases that are going on with Roe versus Wade, I think most people agree that in the United States you have a right to choose with what you think to protest if you don't agree with something. I don't care what decision it is. It's your right as an American. And we all stand by that, whether we agree with it or not. What we don't agree with is when somebody takes their opinion and does wrong with it, whether it's a protest where they start burning towns and doing destructive things. This happened whether you like Rudy Giuliani or not. Some of you do, some of you don't. But he was in a grocery store, I think with some family members, and he come out of the restroom. An employee of the store walked up and slapped him. The lady said that she was standing by and she could feel the wind from it. The employee's been arrested. She was, of course, yelling Roe versus Wade things at Rudy Giuliani. And again, you have your right to what you think. There's nothing wrong with that. Monkeypox. Look at this. L.A. They had a Pride event, and 22 cases now have come out of this. It's spreading among the community there in L.A. Monkeypox. Serious thing. That thing looks painful if you've seen pictures of any of that. Also in New York, over the weekend, they had a get-together. Fireworks went off, and what do you think happened? Everybody there thought the fireworks were gunfire, and it was. People were stepped on trying to get away from it. I don't know of any serious injury from it, but boy, the video from that was pretty rough there as people scramble, and they did think bad things were happening. And we will see this over the next few days in between now and the 4th of July. And I'm going to be very cautious of how I handle this, of what between now and a few days after the July 4th of gunfire that happens. A lot of times fireworks are mistaken for gunfire. And it's rightly so. It happens every year at Christmas, and it happens every year at this time. We'll do our very best to investigate before talking about gunfire to make sure that it's not fireworks. If there's damage, we'll hold off on where it's reported, just because we want to be fair about that, because it is so many fireworks that go off. If we talk about it, it would be pretty much something was damaged. We'll let you know exactly what happens and still give you the truth of what goes on throughout the community. There you go. We're going to look at your forecast next. It's going to be a wet one today. If you've got something outside that doesn't need to get wet, well, it got wet last night, didn't it? But if you've got an activity today that you don't want to get wet, it's going to happen after lunch. We're going to talk about that next. Y'all stay with us. Bring in the 4th of July with a big bang from the Red Fireworks Barn on Highway 19 South. East Mississippi and West Alabama's largest fireworks retailer. The Red Fireworks Barn is fully stocked and open for your 4th of July needs, including hundreds of new arrivals. From small to family packs, the Red Fireworks Barn offers the largest selection again with the best prices around. Home with a no-dud guarantee. Remember the name, the Red Fireworks Barn, for your 4th of July celebration, Highway 19 South in Meridian. See Charlie today.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install, or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
What I couldn't remember, and somebody put her name, Brenda Gant is the cook from Alabama that is huge. She's what I would call a big influence. I don't know her exact number of followers, but it is a lot. Very sweet lady if you've never watched her cook. I like her style. Very sweet there as we begin today. Let's see. Let's get into weather now and let you know what we know as we go to Meridian Honda radar this morning. We do have a few showers here and there just off the coast of Louisiana. As we dig into this, there's a shower or two just to the northwest of Philadelphia this morning. This is also going to be near Carthage, just north of there. As we look at this, as we go out and turn on some of our locations there, look at that. Boy, we got a bunch of rain there. Not anything heavy, but we want to show that to you. And also around Birmingham, we've got some showers there. We can show you some locations of what's going on this morning here. As we zoom back in on this, as we get near Philadelphia, this is going to be just south of 19. As we get up here to the intersection, Winston County, a little bit of a shower. Nothing serious there. As we come across, that's what we've got today on the local side. As we back out and look around, as we move up here, we got a little bit in Georgia there, a little bit north of Birmingham. All light showers, a bunch of fog through Chattanooga, Tennessee, Asheville, North Carolina, Roanoke, Virginia. And these areas there with rain mixed in with it. On up into those areas there around New York. As we go across the northern part of the state, not a whole lot going on up there, but we do pick up some showers back out around Albuquerque, Abilene. If y'all have been through that part of Texas, showers as well. And Galveston, just a little bit off the coastline there this morning. Nothing horrible. We'll watch it. These showers will be moving into our area again after 1 o'clock as we watch this forecast. Don't have power in zero is what I'm getting there. Let's see. We did have a lot of wind last night. That's possible. Let's take a look and see what we've got on the EMEPA side of outages. I've got... it's conflicting what I'm getting, and I'll check into this. Let me pull this up and show you what I'm looking at. I'll get in touch with EMEPA. On the official side, it says 2, but then there's another place where it says there's 829. That may be correct, and this just not updated at this point. As we look at this, as we follow this, yeah, here it is. Lauderdale County, there are 825 outages. For whatever reason, that map hasn't updated correctly. Let's go back here and take a look and pull this in, and where you can see a little bit better. We'll find out what's going on here. This is the area this morning here, the zero community, 829 folks all down through here. This is going to go all the way down to, let's zoom in a little bit closer there, County Road 450, these areas here. We'll touch with the MEPA here in a moment and see what they have to say of what's going on, how quickly that will be restored. I know y'all are wanting your power back. It's tough to get dressed without your power, isn't it? It's kind of miserable. There's no other way to word it there. All right, let's dig deeper into the forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by MEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs, record lows, 1988, 104 was set on this date. Again, we tied that on Saturday. It was downright hot. 1974 was our coolest day on this date, 55 degrees set back in there. As we look at today, we got showers coming, 91 on a cooler day. Boy, it sure is a lot of difference in between today and this weekend. 90 through Philadelphia, even cooler at Mississippi State at 89 degrees. We go south to Laurel, 93 today. Even Brookhaven, Natchez being one of the coolest places in the state, 88. We'll see Vicksburg at 87. As we go across the state line, 91 in Demopolis. Tuscaloosa, not bad at 89. Birmingham, 88. A little bit warmer toward the south there as we head toward the coast there. 93 in Troy, Alabama. And this is what it looks like. Now, we've got that cool front coming. Y'all see that? That's due to the rain that we've got coming across here. Mississippi's still warm, but we will get a little break there, and we'll look at this next as we look at this. Do I see some 80s? Ooh, it almost takes you off, catches you off guard with that, doesn't it? As hot as it's been. Today, the forecast calls for a 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Again, the worst of the weather should be between 1 and 5. We can't rule out that there might be a thunderstorm still lingering after 5, but for the most part, ending there. Otherwise, sunny, a high near 91. As we move into tonight, not letting up, a 70% chance of rain should be ending by 10 p.m. for the most part. Otherwise, cloudy, low around 70. We'll start tomorrow out with a 40% chance of rain. Look at this. Almost every day this week. Well, it is. 60% Wednesday, 60% Thursday, all the way through the weekend. We've got rain chances. But look at the highs. Friday, 86. It'll be a lot cooler there. By the weekend, we've got 91 degrees. Let's go ahead and look into another week of this. We'll start climbing back as we reach the 7th. 96 all the way to the 11th there, holding steady in the upper 90s there. On the 4th of July, not bad, but there is a chance of showers. Still lingering in that forecast at 60%. As this gets closer, we'll watch it for the fireworks shows that are all coming up. Again, that's the 4th, a high of 91 is what we've got. Now, there's a lot going on with the tropics, the worst of which, let's pull this up so you can see this from the National Hurricane Center. This looks as though this disturbance that is in the coast, in the Gulf, is going to move toward the Texas line. Sitting right here will move that direction. Only at 20% of it becoming anything. It'll bring rain there to the Texas coastline. As we look at this, this is the worst. A 90% chance this is going to develop into something. Headed directly toward Mexico. We've got another one, a third storm brewing that's only at a 20%. Is there a chance this could come into the Gulf? Yes. We'll watch that. It's still too early to know. And you're right, Martis, we do need some cooler weather. I'm with you on that. Oh, boy. Let's take a look at our fishing forecast this morning from Chet's Paint and Body. Our best time to fish, well, it was at 5 o'clock this morning. So we've missed that one. You'll get another chance, second major time, at lunch to about 2 o'clock. If you can handle getting wet a little bit, it might be perfect. Don't get in the boat if it's thunderstorming. The wind today is going to be light north, increasing 5 to 10. So that's what we have on that. We'll be back in exactly an hour and 1 minute. Hope you'll join us. Candace is coming in. Power outages in the Zero community. It is a lot of homes affected out there. There's going to be some folks that are grumpy today. Can't get their hot coffee. It's really, it changes the way you are. Your outlook on life, not to have that coffee, not to be able to get dressed in daylight. Some folks will be late. Just happens. We'll see what we can find out about the power outage and get that posted here in a moment as to what happened. Hopefully it'll be coming back on shortly. My guess, as usual, on storms that roll through a limb or something, has fallen since the storm passed, made something weak and it fell on a line. We'll find out. It's all up and coming. Thank you for dropping by. We'll have everything kicking off again in about 1 hour from now with Scotty Ray and Candace. Join us. Look forward to it. We'll see you then.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: